The sour is another of one of the world's most popular cocktails. So in this video, not only am I going to show you how to make it, not only am I going to give you a whole ton of riffs and flips and flavour tricks that you can do with this sour, but I'm also going to show you how to make it without an egg white. This is the perfect video for pubs and bars that want to put more cash in the tills, or even better if you're at home throwing a party and you want to impress your friends and your family. Cocktail fans, welcome back to the Drinkstuff YouTube channel. We are your one-stop shop for all your cocktail needs, except for the booze. My name is Steve the Barman and I'm just purely here to give you fun, inspiration and help you on your cocktail journey. Right, the sour cocktail. Back in the day, it was dominated by brandy. However, in the last sort of 100 years or so, it's been whiskey that is properly taking over. Whiskey is synonymous with the sour cocktail. So let's show you how to make a standard kind of sour. I'm going to be using my sexy new cocktail shaker. This the Barfly. It's the embossed ribbed one. This is quality. I've done a little video about this. And my Barfly stepped jigger. I absolutely love that. So really simple. You're going to pick your whiskey, your bourbon, your rye of choice. And we're going for a 60ml double bubble in there. You could, if you go in the UK, bring it down to 50ml, obviously. But I kind of like working in US, the sort of ounces and all that. 60ml, it's a lot better. So 60ml of that or 50ml. We're then going half the amount. So if you're going 50ml, it'll be 25ml. But as I'm going US, I'm kind of going 30ml of lemon juice. Remember, this is just easy go. I'm going to revert back to this shelf stable, long life, once opened, 30 days at least, longer if you keep it into the fridge. It's just 100% lemon juice with a tiny bit of antioxidant that the wine industry uses. So we're going for 30ml of lemon juice. Basically, if you're a low volume pub or bar, this sort of stuff is perfect for you because you don't have to kind of always, like, you won't get wastage from lemons essentially. You don't have to faff around with juicing them. So it's brilliant. Right, the sugar syrup, again, we're halving the amount of that. So if we've done 60ml and 30ml of lemon juice, we're now going for 15ml. If you did 50ml of whiskey, if 25ml of lemon juice, do 12.5ml. So 15ml of sugar syrup, of gum, whatever you kind of use, your sweetener. Pour that in there. We need our Angostura bitters. You don't need any introduction of what these are. You know, so these are kind of your, like salt and pepper, if you like, the way to season a cocktail. So I'm just going for one dash in here. There we go. And then the final ingredient, traditionally, remember, I'm going to show you how to flip this up. I'm actually going to use an egg white for this cocktail. I've got a couple of egg whites sort of popped in here. I want about 15ml of egg white. So I'm going to show you how to, as I say, how to do it properly. So there's 15ml of egg white there. Now don't forget, as I say, we will be making this. I've got a cool little product coming up. You don't have to use egg white at all. So, right, the first thing to do, if we're using egg white, this is the most important thing. We have to dry shake it. We have to activate and emulsify the egg white. So, there will be pressure building up, so make sure your tin is properly in and you want a good hard shake for at least sort of 10 to 15 seconds. And again, that won't work. You want proper hard, fast welly, all right? Give it some proper welly. And then what you'll find when that's all nice, hopefully you'll see that. Can you see that all sort of frothed up? Look at that. So that's what we call dry shaking. What we're going to do now is shake it to chill it down. So I've got plenty of ice there, he says, stuck in his cocktail shaker. And then we're now going to give this a proper hard, fast shake to chill it down. Remember, this is where the pressure will build up. So make sure that's in. So another good hard, fast shake, 10 to 12 seconds, all right? Lovely, and that's all ready to go. And look, that's what you want, the condensation, the frosting around the cocktail shaker. That will still just kind of pop off. Because of the pressure, it will be a little bit tighter. You get that little release, perfect. Right, to serve this up, two ways. I'm going for a rocks glass over ice. You could double strain it into a coupe glass. Not a problem. Whatever your preferred serve is. There's no right or wrong in this. So for this, just because I'm going into a rocks glass filled with ice, I'm just going to strain it. You see that lovely sort of velvety, smooth texture in that drink. And then to garnish this up, I'm going to get one of my dehydrated orange wheels out. I'll pop that on there, and I'm going to get a cherry. I'm going to do it. I'll do it for the photo, for the thumbnail on there, but just a sort of Luxardo maraschino cherry just on top there. That would be a traditional sour. Now, as you'll be able to see on the close-up, that is a beautiful texture. You can sort of see the white froth on top there. You can see the egg white is just giving it that luxurious, velvety, smooth kind of texture in the cocktail. However, what if you're vegan? What if you don't want to use egg white? What if you're still in the world where you think, oh, egg white, it's not that really safe, I don't want to be drinking it? That's absolutely fine. There are other products that you can use. Do you need it in the first place? You kind of do with this kind of cocktail, because the cocktail is all about the consistency, it is all about the texture of the drink, and you really kind of do need that sort of white froth on top. If you don't have any of these products, you're just going to have a dull, lifeless cocktail. It's not going to really be a sour. So the first ingredient you could use is, you can go, I'll flash it up on screen now, I haven't bought any, but supermarkets, for instance, this is not vegan friendly, this is just if you're making a lot of kind of sours and you still want the egg white. You can get a product called 2 Chicks, and there's various other products out there as well. This is just kind of liquid egg white that you can get in any supermarket. It'll probably be in the baking aisle or the fresh kind of pastry in the chilled aisle, that sort of area. You'll be able to find that really, really easily. But let's go down the vegan route for a second. If you've got a tin of chickpeas at home, just drain the chickpeas, and that liquid, that sort of water inside there is called aquafaba. Aquafaba will kind of mimic the egg white in there. When you kind of froth it up, vegans use it for meringues and that sort of stuff. The only issue with it is that you've then got a tin of chickpeas, and if you don't like hummus or anything like that, you wasted your chickpeas. But if you love chickpeas, if you love your hummus, that is perfect. You can kind of do that, because ultimately that kind of aquafaba, that liquid, is just going down the sink anyway when you drain it. So you've got that. However, here at Drinkstuff, I've used this product time and time again. We've got this. This is our miracle foamers. Literally 6 drops of that. This little bottle will make 500 to 600 cocktails. 6 little drops, and I'm going to use this at the end of the video so you can kind of see, will kind of mimic the sour, mimic the froth. Now, there's a caveat here, because it's not going to give you the thick, luxurious, velvety texture in the cocktail. What they will do is give you that nice, white, frothy layer on top. And I kind of use these not only in egg white replacements, I will kind of use them on top in a Cosmopolitan, for instance. Cosmopolitan is like dull and lifeless, just like there's no head on the cranberry juice at all. Whereas with a couple of drops of that, you turn the Cosmopolitan into this nice white frothy head on there. So it is an egg white replacement, but it's also, they're basically foamers, frothers. They make your drinks go foamy. So that, vegan friendly, long life, shelf stable. Face value, it looks quite expensive, but when you're getting 500-600 cocktails out of a bottle, it's cheap as chips. Right, so I've covered with making this without an egg white. Now it's time to have some fun and look at the riffs and the flavour tricks that you can do with this. Now, as I mentioned, the obvious first sort of flavour riff would be the Brandy Sour or cognac, whatever you're making. It was kind of loosely the original sour, but still very much a go-to. It's cracking. I absolutely love this. But going back to whiskey for a second, you know, just with flavoured whiskies, you can have a lot of fun. I've got a few here that's kind of showcase. I've used all of these on this channel before. This is a different brand, Sheep Dip. It's like a peanut butter whiskey. And if you get that in supermarkets and things like that. It's a whiskey liqueur. It's 35% ABV. Actually, all of these are, to be fair. But it all could just kind of work. So just a straight swap for, I used Jim Beam. I used Jim Beam, just a straight swap for any of these. So we've got the Sheep Dip whiskey there, peanut butter. We've got our friends Jack Daniels. Let's turn these the right way around. I think there's another flavour that I'm missing as well, but we've got apple, we've got honey, we've got Tennessee Fire, which is cinnamon. All 3 of those, I can't for the life of me think what the other flavour, I'm sure there's another flavour, but there we go. All 3 of those will make phenomenal flavoured whiskey sours. Just that simple 1 ingredient riff is just going to take your drinks to a new level. And then obviously the next sort of spirit riff would be gin. Of course it would. You know, gin sours, they just, again, I'm going to use this term a lot, but they just work. Of course they do. Loosely, you know, back in the days, sort of going back 70s, 80s, 90s, we didn't have the abundance of flavoured gin. So just a traditional London dry gin was a big thing, a gin sour. Of course it was. But in this day and age, so many brands do so many different flavours. Gordon's have just literally at the time of shooting released a passion fruit flavoured Gordon's as well. So you've got orange, you've got lemon, you've got elderflower with Gordon's. Whitley Neal's just the ones that I've got here as well. These, just that simple base spirit swap, and you've got your gooseberry, you've got your rhubarb and ginger, you've got quince, which is apple and pear, you've got your, I can never remember, watermelon and kiwi, you've got your mango and lime, what other flavours, raspberry. All of those, whatever, let your imaginations run wild with gin, because they will all work. And then we get into tequila. Tequila is another great one, because you kind of got to think, that's essentially nearly a margarita, nearly. So tequila's obviously going to work in there. Cascabel's a brand that I love. This is just a traditional kind of añejo tequila. It's not añejo. What's it called? Reposado. Sorry, Reposado. I'm a rum fan, not a tequila fan. So you've got your Reposado there, but Cascabel also do a honey and a coconut and a coffee tequila flavours as well. All four of those are just going to be amazing in your sort of sour riffs. And then we come on to the spirit I can talk all day about. Rum, of course we have. Because let's face it, as I said with the margarita, that's loosely a daiquiri, loosely. So of course rum is going to work for this. And rum sours are delicious. I've done so many of these on my channel. You could go your plain sort of traditional rum, sort of white rum, a sort of dark rum. Pineapple, Stiggins Fancy is amazing for this. So you've got that riff straight away there. Spiced rum and flavoured rum takes it to a whole different level as well. There is literally no limits to what you can do with rum. You can kind of go, don't forget, I've got more ideas coming at the end because we haven't even touched on the syrups yet. I'm just giving you that base spirit swap. And then we get onto the fun liqueurs, traditionally lower in ABV, but they will put a fruity spin on it without sort of swapping about any of your other base ingredients, your lemon, your sugar, your Angostura bitters and your egg white. So we've got Passoa, which is going passion fruit, but you might be thinking, hang on, there's at least one, if not two obvious ones I haven't covered yet. And here we go. When it comes to doing hen parties, what I've traditionally done over the last few years, these are the big two. Midori Sours, which is melon, and then Amaretto Sour, which is kind of like almond, if you like. These two are possibly, it depends what kind of bars and what places you sort of hang out in, but these two could possibly be the most famous sours in the modern era, if you like. Yes, whiskey sour, traditional bars and all that, but fun bars with where the target demographic is a lot younger, these two will smash it. Now, when we get to the end of the video, I am going to be making up a flavoured sour riff, and it's something a bit more than melon, but using the Midori, so we'll come back to that later in the video. But for now, I just want to give a quick sort of mention to the Amaretto Sour, because it can be as easy as just swapping this out for whiskey, but don't forget, this is quite sweet in the grand scheme of things. So yes, you can adjust your sugar levels, but it's kind of two ways to make this. In the UK, if you've probably said Amaretto Sours, they're just going to swap out the whole base ingredient, swap the whiskey or the gin, whatever, for Amaretto. But from what I gather in the US, bearing in mind I'm not in the US, I'm in the UK, but what I read a lot, what I see a lot, the way to make the Amaretto Sour in the US is actually splitting the base. So if you're doing 60 ml, for instance, 30 ml of your whiskey and 30 ml of Amaretto. It kind of gives it the alcohol kick, and a little bit of sweetness without making it too sweet. Now I've lost track. We're about to get into the syrups and the purees to give you some proper serving inspiration where I come into my own with what Drinkstuff kind of sell. But for now, what I want you to do is dive in the comments below and let me know what base spirit that you would flip up. What are you most excited to try in your sours, or whether it's for a party, whether it's for a pub menus. Let me know in the comments below. Now, while you're down there, what I would absolutely love, if you're loving this video, make sure you smash that like button, because that will help us put this video in front of more cocktail fans. Right, let's get on to the fun stuff. This is what Drinkstuff excel in. We sell so many syrups and purees from different brands. So this now is just pure and utter inspiration. Different flavour combos. There's no right or wrong. I'm just trying to help you to let your minds explode and help you come up with your own flavour variations. So I'm going to circle through this in a base spirit for what I think would kind of work. But as I say, it's up to you. Let your palates go wild on this. So first off, going back to whiskey, I think a great shout here would be pumpkin sour, Monin's pumpkin spice syrup. Okay, there's a lot of brands that do pumpkin. It's just, I've just picked random bits from random brands that we sell here. So pumpkin spice would be an awesome one for whiskey. I was actually thinking Monin's cherry syrup, but it actually must be at home, not here. We haven't got the cherry syrup here. So ODK's cherry puree. Now the thing with the purees, the fruity mixes and these, they are slightly thicker, so you might not, the egg white will work perfectly, but with the foamers, you might not get as luxurious kind of the white froth, the white foam on top of the purees. They are going to work as a flavour, you're just going to get a thinner froth on top. But these are just punching in flavour. Now, how you would make these, you just simply add, you just simply swap the sugar. So I used gum, 15 ml of sugar of gum in that. It's just a straight swap, 15 ml of pumpkin, 15 ml of cherry. And then we come on to two crazy flavours from William Fox. One extreme to the other, eggnog. An eggnog sour, I know works so well, because it's essentially what, eggnog is at Christmas. Eggnog sours are just going to be amazing. This Complete and utter riff. Hickory smoke. Hickory goes hand in hand with on the smoky notes. Go hand in hand with the whiskey. So there's just 4. I could probably stand here and give you another 40 at least different ideas, but there's just some off the wall ones that you might not, well, cherry you're going to think of. Cherry Bakewell Sour, you know, cherry almond whiskey, obvious one, but there's some different ones here that you may not have thought of that I just know will work. And let's move on to vodka. I feel like I should cover this, but you know, there is literally no right or wrong with this. Vodka is essentially, in the best, loosest way, it's like a flavourless spirit. There are some cracking vodkas with plenty of flavours, but the chances are the vodka you're going to use for a cocktail is going to be pretty flavourless. So literally any flavour of syrup, of puree will work in this. I've just got 2 purees here just for pure giggles. Strawberry sour, wild berry sour, you name it, whatever you fancy going with vodka will work. And then I come on to gin. Now, when I planned this video, writing down, I've just realised I kind of geared these at plain gins. That's what I've listed down here. But then just imagine the flavour combinations you could do with flavoured gins as well. So I haven't even gone down that route in the planning of this video. But cherry blossom with a kind of nice London dry gin is going to be absolutely delicious. Geranium for that kind of floral, you know, any kind of elderflower kind of riff, sort of swap that out with geranium. Geranium just takes it to a different level. It's so delicious, really, really nice. And we've got Monin's sort of apple, Granny Smith, I think it's called? Yeah, Granny Smith apple puree. It's absolutely delicious. Gin and apple, we know works really, really well together. And then kind of sticking to that floral theme there, we've got rose syrup as well. And again, there's other brands that do rose syrup, but kind of just your plain London dry gin or whatever gin you've got, and a rose syrup. But as I say, just imagine the fun that you could have with your flavoured gins. For instance, I'm automatically thinking there with my gooseberry gin or my quince gin or any of that with the apple is just going to be amazing. Then when it comes to tequila, there's 2 really big kind of flavours that I love matching up with tequila. Melon, and this is not watermelon, this is like, I think it's cantaloupe or honeydew, I forget which one it is now. But kind of this melon puree works an absolute treat. Yes, you could kind of go watermelon, but kind of different flavour. Absolutely love that. But for me, the big flavour to go with tequila with like fun and fruity, I absolutely love mango and chili combined together. Mango and chili margaritas, mango and chili daiquiris, mango and chili sours. You know, I'm just looking at this. It's still there, look. It's been 20 minutes or so. Look at that. That's what the egg white does. But they are my kind of go-to. But again, berry notes, you know, strawberry margaritas work, of course they do, so strawberry sour is going to work with tequila. Again, let your imaginations run wild. And then when it comes to rum, I could be here all day and still not cover all the rum sort of riffs that we could do. But I'm just going to stick to the white rum and the spiced rum here for now, but these will all work. Orgeat, which is kind of like an almond system with syrup with a hint of vanilla, a hint of orange blossom water in there. We know that's going to work in there. Sort of Mai Tai, loose Mai Tai sort of base there. Papaya puree is one of my favourites to mix with rum. Rhubarb puree. This rhubarb puree is absolutely delicious. A rhubarb sour, rhubarb and rum for me. Rhubarb and gin will work as well, but rhubarb and rum. And then apricot. I think I'm in a massive minority with apricot, but I absolutely adore apricot with rum. It just, those 2 flavours for me go hand in hand. So you've got kind of like an apricot sour. And don't forget, Amaretto, or Di Serono I should say, is made from apricot kernels as well. So the apricot kind of flavour does run through like an Amaretto sour. But then the last one I'm going to do is the Midori, and this is the one I'm going to make, and I'm going to make it with the foamers as well, but I'm going to do a Midori and apple sour for you here. So just to kind of demonstrate what goes on here. So I'm going to do 60 ml of Midori, 60 ml double bubble. As I say, if you're doing US, just bring it down to 50, 50, 25, 12 and a half for US, 60, 30, 15. I just prefer US. Sorry, but I do. Let's do this in proper order. So 60 ml double bubble of your Midori, 30 ml of lemon juice in there, 15 ml. This is what I'm going to do. William Fox's green apple syrup. You could use the Monin's green puree or Granny Smith puree. 15 ml, half an ounce of that. Perfect. The bitters in this will be up to you. I'm not going to bother with bitters in this, actually, completely and utterly down to you. But I just want to give you a quick sort of demo of these. I saw the girls' podcast. They've broken this, haven't they? There we go. You know, you let the girls loose in here and they kind of break your bar. Right. We want literally about 6 drops. So there's 1 about to drop, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, 6 drops, and I'll demonstrate how this works. So there's nothing in there, there's no ice, just 6 drops, that kind of liquid. A dry shake for about, as I say, you won't need to emulsify it as much as an egg white, but a good 10 seconds, dry shake, give it a power shake. And as you can see, look at the froth. The froth has been created. You can kind of see there. I've got some more ice ready to go. So now I'm just gonna chill this down, give it a proper shake, 10 to 12 seconds. And then I'm going coupe glass for this. So I'm just going to double strain to get rid of the ice. And you will see that while it doesn't have the thickness of that, it still most definitely does have the foam and is settling like a pint of Guinness. So I will garnish that up with like a dehydrated apple. What have we got? Have we got any down here? I'll find them. A dehydrated apple, basically we sell dehydrated apples in bags like that for the thumbnail. That is that. In the comments below now, if you're still watching, thank you. But what flavour riffs are you gonna do? Let us know in the comments below, and then take a photo of it, upload it into our Discord community. Come and join us in the Discord. There'll be a link in the comments in the description. Or if you're old school, upload it to Instagram and then tag us in the actual photo. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want even more sort of cocktails, riffs and tricks, dive into that video right there.